What's up, guys? Kyle with Max Conversion here with you today to walk you through the state of Google Ads in 2025. I want to walk you guys through a few things, how you should be running your account. This is strictly focused on just tips, what's working in 2025, what we're seeing on our side as a Google Ads professional, what's working, what's not. This is going to focus more for service-based businesses, so concrete guys, home service guys, insurance guys, that sort of, even people like counselors and wedding photographers and, all those sorts of services. This is really primarily for those. We don't do much with e-commerce. Actually, we don't do anything with e-commerce. So it's going to mainly focus on service-based businesses. So if you are in e-commerce, you may get some use out of it, but this is primarily for you service guys. So what I want to jump in today is a few things. I'm going to talk to you guys about negative keywords, landing page optimization, what a good landing page looks like, the state of PMAX, when you should be using PMAX. We'll talk about remarketing. We'll talk about conversion tracking and why it's a necessity, and so on and so forth. I'm going to kind of walk you guys through step by step. It's really just going to be me walking through the setup account and showing you guys, some landing page examples towards the end. So let's jump right into it. And we've got some campaigns built out. So the first thing with Google Ads is all about your guys' campaign structure and the way you build it out. If you fail this part, you're going to fail the whole thing. So a good campaign, I'll walk you guys through what a good campaign looks like. So move my head up there. We've got, let's just pull a flooring company here, for example. So right off the bat, if we look at the campaign settings, we're going to make sure these settings it should be the same settings. And this is actually not correct here. So we should have no marketing objective, even though your guys' goal is leads. No marketing objective. What we're telling Google is, hey, we don't want you to have any control or suggestions over our campaign. We want to have full control. That's the first thing. So whenever you're setting it up, set it up without goal guidance. Networks, you guys should only be running search network, not search partners, not display, only search network. Google search partners has resulted in a lot of poor quality, low CPCs. So you're spending a lot less money for more clicks, but the quality of traffic is very bad. So I would recommend turning this off. If you guys are going to run display for remarketing or some other reason, have that in a different campaign. Budget, you guys, in most industries, you guys need a healthy budget. Don't do anything less than $50 a day. It's very, very hard to be successful if you guys are trying to run a $25 a day budget in most industries. Now, we have seen some work in some lower CPC industries, but if you guys are in an industry where you guys have $10 cost per click, $15 cost per click, and you guys are trying to run a $25 a day budget, you're only going to get max 2 clicks a day. So make sure your guys' budget is a good amount, and I would recommend kind of a benchmark. Every industry is completely different, but start $50 a day and run it. And everyone's got $250 a week to kind of test this out. If you guys don't have the money to test it out, I'd recommend doing some more word of mouth first to kind of build up that money first. So conversion goals are going to be very, very important. You guys want to make sure that your conversion goals are set correctly. Account default's usually what it's going to be set to, but sometimes you guys can run into issues there. Bidding, what we're seeing here as the best bidding strategy for 2025 is maximize conversions. So if you have maximize conversions here, you have these 4 plus manual CPC. So you have maximize clicks, conversions, conversion value, and target impression share. Typically, we're starting campaigns nowadays with maximize clicks or manual CPC. A lot of our campaigns we start manual CPC because we can change it we can change the bid based on the keyword level, and then we switch over to maximize conversions. Now, the big thing with maximize conversions, guys, is you shouldn't switch to maximize conversions, target CPA, until you have about 15 to 20 conversions within 30 days. So if you guys' budget, say, is $150 a day, you guys are getting leads at $50 a day, I would recommend you guys 20 conversions or a little bit more, just so you have that buffer. Now, if you guys' budget's a little smaller, $50 a day, you guys are getting 1 lead a day, you guys might be getting 5 a week. Over the course of a month, you might get about 15, maybe 20. And in that case, I might switch around 15, 17. It really all depends on your guys' budget, but it needs to be within 30 days is what we're seeing. But the more conversions you can get, the better. Don't switch it over until you get those, because what we've seen is Google just halting your spend. You guys won't be able to spend your budget typically. Now, you can spend your budget if you set it to maximize conversions without a target CPA. But the problem with this is if your industry has a high CPC, or it really all depends. There's so many different variables, but a lot of times you guys can see, $100 clicks coming through with maximized conversions and no conversions coming through. So that's a really big thing right there. So I would always, recommend getting that 20 conversions, setting it to target cost per acquisition, set it at about 20% less than what Google recommends, and then see how far you can go down over time. Fine bidding for new and, old customers. This is totally fine. You guys can do this, but it's not recommended. We never do this. We don't set any value rules. This is for AI Max. Don't recommend it at the moment. It's September of 2025. I don't recommend it currently. Locations, make sure that you guys have your location set to people in or regularly in, and then set your locations. You don't want people interested in, because you can get people, say you're out here in Missouri and somebody's out in California and they look for, say, a flooring company in St. Louis. Your ad can show up, but they're out in California, so you probably don't want them. Only run one language per campaign. So if you guys have a different language, duplicate the campaign, run it in a different language. Automatically created assets, make sure this is turned off. Start end date, that's up to you. Turn this off. Dynamic search ads, these are always great, but you don't really need to use them that often. Typically with beginning of campaigns, we have ads are not optimized, so we rotate the ads indefinitely. The reason why we do this is because we don't have enough data yet, so turn this on. After we get about, it really all depends on the budget, but we'll turn this back on after a few months. Campaign URL, don't need that. Page, IP, and brand, you guys aren't going to use that. So that's kind of the campaign settings you want to use, and most of your if you're running a search campaign, those are probably the exact settings you want to use. Now, in terms of, there's a few things. So, with campaign build out, you guys want to have it built out into different types of services themes. So, if you guys are running, if this is a flooring campaign for an example, and I'll walk you through a few other, we've got flooring installation, very broad, kind of going to be the main term, and we've got hardwood repair, wood floor repair, which are like the same thing, but they're in their own category. You've got just general flooring repair, stone installation, commercial building, and so on and so far. You keep going. So with this, you want them in different themes. And I'll give you some other examples. So if we go to, let's go to a pest control. So you can see here we have pest control, hornet control, wasp control, ant exterminator, moles, just general exterminator, mosquito control. And so you guys can see how these are on its own little subgroups. You have your main one, which is pest control, and then you have all your other subgroups of different types of searches that could come up. Now, a lot of these are not, you guys might not get impressions or clicks for them, which is totally okay. It's still good to have them branched out into their different ad groups. So this is kind of how you want your campaign structured. And within the campaign, you guys will see pest control is going to have, pest control company, pest control service, these sorts of keywords that are kind of more broad. And, but you want them specifically for the theme, right? Like in ant exterminator, you've got ant pest control, ant exterminator. Now, ant removal near me, and they follow a specific theme, right? Like ant pest control, ant exterminator, and ant removal are all the same theme. So that's how you want to have your ad group structured. And typically with new campaigns, you guys want to start it out with exact match. Sometimes phrase match is okay as well. Phrase match really isn't that big of a problem at all, but it depends on how frequently you're going to be in the account adding native keywords. If you don't have the time to spend to add native keywords each and every day, especially at the beginning of the campaign, I'd recommend just running Exact Match. Exact Match is very loose nowadays, where you guys can. It's kind of like old phrase match, so you guys can be. You guys can run it and it'll be really targeted, and you don't have to go in there as frequently and add negative keywords. So, match types, you got broad, phrase, and exact. Recommend running exact for beginners, phrase for people who know a little bit more. Broad match is for down the road when you get a lot of negative keywords. Your campaign's really, it's humming, it's working. You guys are just looking for more volume. That's when you introduce broad match, because it can pick up cheap clicks and actually good leads sometimes. Kind of goes into my next thing, negative keywords. And I know I'm kind of jumping around here, guys, but I'm kind of walking you through everything that we see and we audit during a Google Ads account. One of the big things is negative keywords. So negative keywords are basically keywords you don't want, right? So if somebody's looking up free ant control company, or they're looking for free pest control near me, or people in the junk removal industry, you guys know, they're looking for their weekly trash pickup company, and likely they're trying to call them. So you'd remove those keywords, right? You'd remove pickup, you'd remove trash, you might remove free, you'd remove different types of things too, because you guys wouldn't believe what you could be found for. So, pest control company, you guys can be shown for pest control company reviews, pest control company, how to start one. What is a pest control company? What are the profit margins for a pest control company? You guys can show up for everything under the sun. So you want to add these negatives where you remove, jobs, you remove reviews, you remove, who, what, where, when, why, even who. It's a question word. You remove, all these words. So you can see here we've got bonus and bids and bargains and cheap and class and coupons and course, and there's so many different searches that people find you for, especially when you're running phrase match, that you want to add a good lot of negative keywords. So we've got 130 just added to this campaign right off the start. And you add more each and every day for the first 30 to 60 days, and then you can. I would recommend adding them every day or every other day for the first 30 days, and then 2 or 3 times a week for the next 30 days, and then you can kind of be a little bit more hands off as you get closer to that 60 days. So that is super important. Next thing, guys, are going to be PMAX campaigns. So you guys hear about PMAX campaigns. Do they perform? Do they not perform? When do you use them? When are they good? So on and so forth. PMAX campaigns are sort of a spray and pray approach. You guys show up for display, for Gmail, on YouTube. You show up for everything. And that can be really good because it's an omnipresent approach where you're hitting all these different channels and platforms, and you're getting the word out there. The problem we've seen is it's very broad, where you guys might get some good leads in. They might be an affordable cost, but for the most part, from what we've seen, if you're running it to a cold audience, which is somebody who hasn't interacted with your business, a lot of times you can waste a lot of money. So what we recommend for PMAX campaigns, and you guys can see here campaigns, you go to new campaign, and let me go ahead and refresh this. You can set up a PMAX campaign. And I would also recommend this, guys, for display as well. I wouldn't recommend running display or any demand gen to a cold audience. I would recommend only running it to a warm audience. So a warm audience would be somebody who's, if you've got a YouTube channel, interacted with your YouTube channel, whether they watched a video or they subscribed, somebody who have interacted with your business, maybe they viewed your website or liked your Facebook page. Likely, most of the time, people are doing website revisitors, so people who have visited the website that you're trying to remarket to. That's when these PMAX campaigns really shine and work really well. So that's what I'd recommend for PMAX campaigns, and I'm going to try and walk you guys through a PMAX campaign, but it's not getting set up. But they're fairly easy to set up. You guys want to set up a remarketing list, and the way you set up a remarketing list is fairly simple. Go into your Google Analytics, you set up an audience, you connect your Google Analytics to Google Ads, and those two audiences connect, and so you can as you start to build the list, where you connect it, it starts building the list in Google Ads as well as Google Analytics. You can eventually, once you have enough people in that list, you can retarget them and run a PMAX campaign. So in that way, PMAX can be really, really good, as well as display and YouTube advertising as well. If you remarket, it's extremely cheap, guys. It's a great way to get people back to your website. Highly, highly recommended. The next thing, and then I'm going to jump into landing pages, is, and I know I'm jumping around here, is conversion tracking. So conversion tracking is a necessity. Do not start your campaign. Start the campaign with manual or max clicks, and you want to get to that maximize conversions target CPA. You want to get that on your ads, on your website, and in your ads, and it's integrated properly. You're simply just spending money on Google to generate traffic, but you're not getting the right type of traffic very often. And so you need to have conversion tracking if you're going to run Google Ads. It's a necessity, guys. One, to track your ROI, and also so you can feed Google that data. The more data you feed into Google, the better. So what I'd recommend for most of you service guys is do not track, time they spent on the page or how far they scroll down. Only track the people who are an opportunity for your business. So a phone call or a form submission, and that's the only two things you should really track. You can track secondary metrics like time spent on page, but at the end of the day, it's a little unreliable because somebody could have clicked on it, they could have sat there. It's just unreliable metrics. You want to track phone calls, form submission, people who have reach out to your business, because you're telling Google, once you set up that conversion tracking or conversion bidding strategy, you're telling them, hey Google, this is what you've got me, these phone calls and form submissions. This is what I want more of, because you're targeting conversions now. So Google's going to try and, based on their audience profile that they have on people, they're going to try and show your ads more frequently and try and get you that lead cost that you've designated. They're going to try and get you more of those and less of the people who might just be shopping or just kind of searching around. So keep that in mind. Don't run Google Ads unless you have conversion tracking set up. We've got a video on that. I'll link it down below in the description on how to set up conversion tracking inside your Google Ads. It's fairly simple. You follow the video and you guys should have it set up within 10 to 20 minutes. With that and talking about conversion actions, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about are audiences and then landing pages. So something we've been seeing in 2025 is a little bit exact match going a little bit broader, things changing with Google Ads, which is good, where Google's getting a little bit more fine-tuned in some areas and a little bit looser in some other areas. So what I'd recommend for a lot of these campaigns that we're running, we're actually starting them with audience targeting right away, especially if we have experience in the industry. So let's pull a campaign here, and let's just pull the pest control. So what we're seeing here is this campaign's probably going to be on observation mode, but what you can do is there's two options here. If you don't know your industry, I would recommend doing this first, but clicking on all the types of, and if we type in pest control here, see here that we have a lot of these already there. And we put them all on observation mode. You guys can go in here and you guys can go click through here, and you might not want, you don't want renters if you're a pest control company, but what this is doing is it's simply putting it on observation mode, where you're not narrowing the reach of the campaign, basically just collecting data. And we do this in a lot of new industries, where we just simply collect the data, see what kind of audiences are working. So you're going to get this data where, how many clicks do they get, what's their average cost per click, but really what we're looking at is conversion rate. How frequently are they converting? Some audiences are going to convert a lot better than some other audiences, right? For pest control, I would imagine the do-it-yourselfers would convert at a significantly less rate than people who, frequently hire more home service companies. So, like shoppers. Shoppers is a great audience for most home service companies. You hit the right audience a lot of times. So, bargain hunters. That might not be somebody you want, but you don't know until you spend the money. And a lot of times these audiences surprise you. So add these audiences, and once you guys start getting a good idea of what's working, what's not, I'd recommend, depending on your budget, wait till you get about 20 clicks on the audience. For some audiences, you want more, like 50 clicks, but for some of the ones that don't have as much volume, about 20 clicks is good. And then what you can do is, once you figure out what audience works, and we've got this in some industries that we just automatically put targeting on, is you remove the ones that you don't want, right? So you don't want, any of those. And I recommend probably targeting about 3 to 5 at most, figuring out which ones work. And then you hit them on targeting. So then you'll narrow the reach of your campaign, but you're hitting the right audience. When your ad shows up, you're hitting the right audience, which is really, really good. And so you'll hit the right audience, you'll get a better conversion rate, and that's really, really important, and it'll result in a better ROI for you guys at the end of the day. So that's what I'd recommend. Also, at the end of the day, if you didn't want to do targeting, you could always just exclude specific audiences. So if you add exclusions and you guys don't want the do-it-yourselfers, you go ahead and add them. What you could also do is put a negative bid adjustment here. So you could just put 100 negative bid adjustment on the do-it-yourselfers, or actually, I guess it will not let us do that because we would just exclude them at that point. So you could remove them and exclude them, but negative 90% bid adjustment. Next thing is age and demographics. So depending on your guys' company, some people want to automatically remove 18 to 24, also 25 to 34, depending on the company. I think that's a great idea. Household income, some people also want to remove 41 to lower 50%, so 40 to 100%. That's okay as well. Just be careful. Sometimes you can narrow the reach of your campaign too much, where your campaign is actually limited, where you guys can't spend your money because you guys don't have any audience because you excluded all of them by setting all these filters. So it's better to go broad, get the data, and then go narrow, and figure out, trying to figure out why it's not working, what's going on. So that's my recommendation. But other than that, guys, that's kind of I know we went through a lot. That's kind of the state of Google Ads in 2025. Now, the biggest piece, Google Ads, a lot of times Google Ads is actually not the hard part in today's market. It's, you're fighting with high cost per click in most industries. And with that, it's just very competitive and it's very tight, and your campaigns need to be really, really well put together. And half the battle are landing pages, where back in the day, CPCs used to be low, landing pages didn't have to be as good, but your campaign would still be profitable because CPCs were so low and your landing page semi-worked. But, nowadays CPCs are high, and if your landing page isn't good, people are not going to convert because they're more used to using the technology, and they want to see professional companies. So I'm going to walk you guys through a few real-life examples that we've pulled over time, and that honestly look really, really good. And it's just some people from different industries around us, other landing pages from YouTube, just some different ideas for you guys so you guys understand what landing page. So I am going to go ahead and pull the first one, which is a company out here in St. Louis. Actually, I think they're all over the world, but this is considered, I would say, a really, really good landing page for mobile device. They're doing a few things well. So the first thing that somebody sees when they land on this landing page is the guy's working. They're offering windows and doors. The video's showing them windows and doors. The guys are obviously putting up new windows, and you can see that the company's branded. It looks nice. You see the job being done. So the person who sees this landing page is like, oh, this, they've got like 6 guys there doing the windows. Like, I want that at my house. They look like they're doing good work. And then they've got an offer. So you guys need proof at the top, right? So something that might make this landing page better is having the Google reviews up here. If you guys have a couple hundred Google reviews or over 100, putting your Google reviews on there is a great, great, great trust factor. Throwing them up there right next to the logo is awesome. But in this case, they've got the video. And then on Google Ads, I always recommend you guys have some version of an offer. So an offer can be whatever is fitting for your industry, but for this one, it's buy one, get one 40% off. A great deal. 4 windows and doors. And then it's got the form right below so that they can check for pricing. And this is a phenomenal landing page because a user sees, hey, why do you choose this company? Worked with 1 million homeowners, 10 million windows installed, and they've got the multi-step form where if they click, they're being redirected. Multi-step forms are amazing. You don't need them specifically, but they are really, really good. So, this is considered a really, really good landing page, guys. It's got, the proof here. This company's great. They're awesome. And then you just go down and so forth, and it's just got more content. But it's all about, since most traffic is from mobile device, it's all about, the desktop's really important as well, but the mobile optimization is so important, and fitting everything you can in a non-cluttered way in the top section of your mobile device. So they've got the proof that they're a company and they do good work. They've got the offer to try and entice them, to hook them right then and there. They're not running it to their website. They don't have any other distractions where, hey, view about us, view our reviews, do this. The landing page should do all the selling for you. Google Ads delivers the traffic, landing page does all the selling, and you guys will have an awesome conversion rate and your campaign will be profitable if you can get both together. Now, if you guys have an awesome landing page, but you guys don't have good Google Ads search terms, you guys are sending bad traffic to a good landing page, it's not going to convert. Vice versa, if you send good traffic to a bad landing page, it's not going to convert. You need good traffic, good search terms to a good landing page, something that shows proof and makes it easy for them to reach out, and you guys will convert. Another one is by a guy from YouTube, and it's for a pest control company. I can't remember the name of the guy, but he creates awesome landing pages. And this one I think he did a video on, but this is the perfect landing page for a pest control company. So if you look at it on mobile device, it's got everything. It's got the trust factor, easy way to call for a quote. It's got the multi-step form like we were just talking about, and it does everything it needs to do. It's got the trust. It makes it easy for them to reach out. It's got all these, and it's got some reviews, and it's just really short and easy. Great landing page. Looks great on desktop. Looks great on mobile. So this is an example of a really good landing page. So other than that, guys, you just want simple. You guys want to show, hey, like, this is what we do. I think the only thing that would make this landing page a little better is maybe if they had some person doing some pest control up top. But other than that, it's a really good landing page. But you guys need to show, it needs to be fast. It needs to have trust symbols. It can't be cluttered. And it's not about the amount of words you say. It's about what you say on the landing page. So make sure that, your headline, top of the headline, is very related. Going back to our pest control campaign here, what we've done at Max Conversion is if we set up a pest control landing page, this is pest control right here, expert and effective pest control services. What we'd also say is, expert and efficient hornet control services, wasp control, ant exterminator. So you may have different landing pages, or you may have dynamic keyword insertion where it changes out pest control for hornet control or ant exterminator, or vice versa, so that you guys can be extremely relevant throughout the customer's whole journey. So customer looks for what you have, customer lands on landing page that's highly relevant, looks great, has the trust symbols, make it easy for them to reach out, and you guys will absolutely crush with Google Ads. So I know this is kind of a long video. It's more of a rant than anything, just kind of talking about the state of Google Ads in 2025. I hope if you stayed through this entire video that you guys did get some use out of it. These videos are meant to be helpful. They're meant to drive profitability for your guys' company. Completely free advice. We do offer Google Ads management services, but what we hear often is just that the advice we're given is very good, that people are using it and it's working, and that's what we want to hear. That's why we have this YouTube channel. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you stuck through the whole video, make sure you hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and stay tuned for more helpful Google Ads content.